Hello, I hope you guys are doing really well. My name is Julian, and I'm excited to guide you through one of the most fundamental concepts and commands in SQL. We also call it SQL. So, today we are going to learn about the select command. By the end of today's session, you'll be much more comfortable working with select command. All right, so let's get started. Let me start with a little story. Imagine you're working in a large library with thousands of books. Meet Mrs. Harper, the librarian in this busy library. Every day, she helps readers find the books they are looking for. But with so many books in the library, she struggles to find a way to do this effectively without spending too much time searching through all the books again and again. So one day, a reader walks up and asks Mrs. Harper, "Could you please tell me the list of authors that this library has?" Without a system to organize her books, Mrs. Harper would have to manually search through every single book in the library. That would take hours. So Mrs. Harper needs a way to retrieve all the data quickly and effectively. So she's looking for something that can help her answer such requests, like finding books from the library in seconds. So this is where SQL comes in. Imagine if Mrs. Harper could simply ask the tool to show her all the books with just one command. This is what SQL allows her to do, especially the select statement. The select statement is like a magic key that can instantly retrieve information from the database, whether it's a list of books, a customer detail, or anything else. So the select statement in SQL is used to retrieve data from a database. In our case, Mrs. Harper can use it to find specific books in her library. Instead of going through each book manually, she can write and run a simple query that gives her the exact data that she needs. For understanding it better, let's try to go through the example of select statement. The general syntax for select statement is quite simple. You write the keyword select and then you specify the column names. You can specify as many columns that you want to print, and then you use the keyword from and then the table name. So for fetching the values from a table which is already existing inside the database, followed by the column name, and then from, and then we specify the table name. So select in this particular syntax tells the SQL which columns of the data you want to retrieve, and from tells the SQL which table to look in for that data. So let's just say Mrs. Harper has a table called books. And within this table, she has specified the book ID, the title, the author, the genre, and years published. So right now we have created a table called books and we have inserted some values into that book. So right now, if we want to fetch some values from this table, we will make use of select query. So how the select query works? So select query specifies the keyword select, the columns that it wants to select, like column 1, column 2, and then it specifies from where exactly we want to have those columns. So it specifies it by making use of the keyword from and then the table name. So in the same way, for fetching the values from this particular table, we can make use of the select keyword followed by the column names that we want to display. So for example, we want to display title, author, and year published for the books. And we want to skip this particular column, which genre of the book that is. So we can specify the column names as title, author, and years published from the name of the table. So name of the table is books. So let's try to run it. All right. So as soon as we have used this query, we are getting the title, the author, and the year published. So let's just say we want to work with only the title, the column title from this table. So for doing that, we will only specify the column name title. So we will do select the name of the column title from and then the name of the table books. Let's try to run it. All right. All right. So let's try to comment this. So let's just say we want to print the entire table. So for doing that, what we will do is we will make use of select and then we will specify all the columns. Yeah. from the table books. So over here, we have used the select command, and then we have specified the column names. So we are trying to display all the column names. So book ID is also one of the columns. So we have specified all the column names separated by commas, and then we have specified the table from where we want to have all of these columns. Let's try to run it. So as soon as we have clicked on run, we can see that the entire table with all the columns and all the values, they are printed. But there's one more way of doing it. So whenever we want to retrieve the entire table, instead of specifying all the columns, we can make use of asterisk for getting all the values. So instead of mentioning all the columns, we can make use of asterisk. Let's try to run it. So there's no change. So by making use of asterisk, we can get all the columns with their values. So let's try to revise the things that we have learned in this lecture. So we have realized that by making use of select statement, we can easily retrieve data from a database, whether you need all the data or specific column, or maybe just one piece of information. Think of Mrs. Harper's library example. This is how select statement helps organize and retrieve data effectively. Keep experimenting with how select queries work to get much more comfortable with retrieving data in various ways. So one of the things about SQL is that it is very important for us to know how SQL works in detail to work with databases. And mastering select is an important step in your learning journey. I hope you had a good time learning more about select statements. Thank you for joining and happy coding, everybody.